could be picked up where my name isn't, there's 6 friends and I'm one of them. I don't want to like this week on Blind Dating, we feature David.
Sorry, David.
He's a dating nest and we're going to help him. I already had that with Patty Stanger. Okay.
Okay. Well,
go watch it.
I'll work on another show concept. I wanted to ask you one more thing though. How did you feel about Tamra announcing that she and Eddie are closing their gym of 10 years? Cut.
I mean, apparently out there somewhere, there's all the reasons why. I mean, you also have to just believe what comes out of Tamra's mouth. So I didn't really read the reasons. I don't know if you saw them. I mean,
well, the reason she claims from 2 T's is that they were doing great. The pandemic hit. They tried everything they could financially to keep the gym stable. And it just didn't work. Like financially, it didn't make sense post-pandemic. I mean, if that's the truth, I mean, I kind of do get it because you've seen so many restaurants and things close, and I don't see how you could have kept a gym alive. Maybe virtual classes, but I have a girlfriend who ran a gym for a long time, a UFC fighting gym. She says it's the worst business. Very, very hard to make money because your overhead is so high, and you've got to try to get memberships and it's constant. So I mean, it's a tough business to be in. My guess is probably they weren't doing all that great at all for the 10 years.
I assume so. I mean, having a business setback during pandemic, totally believable. I'm actually not trying to shade Tamra with this statement. I'm being completely serious. I thought it already fucking closed. I thought it closed like a couple of years ago, like at the beginning of during the pandemic. I really did. So, okay. I mean, I already thought it closed. I do think, what Jim was doing great during the pandemic. Plenty have bounced back. I don't think I think she was in the 9s when she left. She either got that or they said, bitch, come back for less or we're not taking you. Do you want 0 or do you want 5 or 6? I still think her going back and having this new income, which don't count on housewives, Tamra. You should have learned that the first time you were fired. But I think Tamra will be there for a while. And I think it's just if it's not doing well, to say your business was doing great and you decided to close it, that's the bullshit. So just, admit that it wasn't doing well, which it sounds like she is, and move on. And my only question is, what? Is Eddie just going to be a real housewife of Orange County house husband? Or like, what's Eddie going to do?
Well, I guess they have a CBD, maybe medical marijuana, not medical,
They do.
Okay. So they have a CBD weed company. My assumption is Eddie's probably running that, right? Going to shift gears, run that. Yeah. I mean, I would hope Tamra's smart enough now. I mean, to know you got to do different things with the money. And I mean, they probably did. They probably saved. She's way over Simon. Her kids are getting grown. So she's probably getting to the point she doesn't have to do a lot of child support. Yeah, I mean, I think she's probably doing fine. Gyms seem to me like tough businesses. So, I mean, good for them. They could even keep it going, even if it broke even for 10 years. I mean, that's a long time to have a business. So,
it's time.
I think, it was time. Sounds like it was time. So good for them.
And the only other thing that I don't understand is like Cynthia Bailey is saying she chooses Teresa. Can I just say one other thing? People are done with Teresa and Melissa. People are done. It's over. I talk about this on my Patreon with Kim every weekend. Call it. It's over. It's over. Like now we're into the nitty gritty of like Melissa and Joe were asked, a source says. They just turned it. Who cares whether they were asked or not asked? I think people are over Teresa and Melissa fighting. I mean, it's over. Like, I don't mean like get back together. Like it's over. You actually both hate each other. Period. Put a period on it. And this story is done, guys. We're never going to see anything different than this. It's time.
Really? You think people are done? You think people are done?
Well, I get a lot of comments when I do my weekly Patreons with Kim of people being like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares?
Wow.
We're done.
But to your point, because you were going to bring up, I did think that was a very fascinating article where Cynthia was like, I was just drawn to Teresa. That, I mean, I was like, what does that mean? I guess Cynthia was just saying Teresa's so warm and open and kind when they were on girls trip and Melissa really wasn't, and Melissa and Teresa aren't connected. I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, I guess the only thing that I'm still curious about is, to me, at least the way the show is portrayed, blood is thicker than water, all that stuff. I mean, I did kind of think that Melissa and Teresa and Joe, Gorga, that they were closer than they are. But I mean, it does sound like now They really aren't. Like it's a formality they do because they all know they're going to make money off the show. But it sounds like, and from what Cynthia said, like they had no connection, meaning Melissa and Teresa on set. So
None.
I guess
None when they film either. I mean, I've been there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess for a long time, they really haven't been connected, truly. So it makes sense they didn't go to the wedding. I guess I'm a naive watcher sometimes. I thought they were friendlier.
And, to me, there is, I mean, Teresa has not been so wonderful and warm and fuzzy to me, but there is something a little more warm in my personal experience about her than Melissa. That it was.
Well, Cynthia says the same thing.
Teresa's not, in a way, Teresa's a little more real. Like everyone always thinks I hate Teresa. They don't realize like Kim doesn't like her. So that's not me. And second of all, I wish Teresa the best of luck. I just don't necessarily think this is going to end necessarily 100% great with Louis, but it might. But there is something warmer in my experience about Teresa because she is at least real. And so when she's being cold and doesn't even want to acknowledge you're there, then when you get a moment of warmness, it's genuine. And I think she's just hardened in life, man. And I mean, look what she went through. And I'm not defending her because she ain't so great to me. But that at least has got to be better than someone who is nice and you can tell really is like, you're so beneath me. Why the hell am I even speaking to you?
Oh, well, yeah. No one likes, that vibe, forget it. Yeah, no one likes that.
No one likes that. So at least, was that all that Cynthia said? I didn't read the article.
Really. I mean, I think Cynthia was trying to walk a line of basically, I mean, if you read between the lines, I think Cynthia is basically saying Melissa Gorga's exactly what you said, not friendly, not interested in you, is there because it's a paycheck, has zero connection to it. I mean, Cynthia was very kind about it, but I think what she's getting at is, I had nothing to do with Melissa, didn't want anything to do with Melissa. And Teresa was way more fun with the women and open and all that stuff. And we became friends. That was basically it.
Yeah, like when Teresa, look, again, she ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but when she gets in her, like she at least is like, oh, this is fun. And, like she relates to you as a person more.
Yeah.
I would agree with that in my personal experience. I'm okay with you like not being great all the time, but just the fakeness. Yeah. So, I mean, I agree. So, hey, Cynthia Bailey, call me. We agree.
Call me.
All right. Anything else with Beverly Hills or anything? Or
I mean, we covered a ton.
We did a lot today. Where can everyone find you and what can they do? And by the way, Sarah, for anyone coming to New York City, the 13th of September, which is like a week away or 2 weeks, live at City Winery, me and Kim D, $25. Less than, but let me just tell you, the same price as a martini in the Hamptons. Everyone can fall off their chair now. That's how much a martini costs at most places in the Hamptons.
Unreal. Go see your show. It's going to be so good. I wish I was in New York. I would love to see you live.
I wish.
At the Sarah Fraser Show on all social medias. Follow me on TikTok. I put out new episodes 7 days a week. The Sarah Fraser Show. Apple Podcasts, everywhere pods are played.
And I'm at David Yontef or at Behind Velvet Rope. Keep in touch. And of course, we will be back next week, people.
Bye, David.